Hey there, welcome back to our Okie Dokie Life. I'm Lacey.
I'm Brett. And today we're gonna hopefully at least get it finished up today where we can actually start being prepared to store plants in here. We're gonna try to get the covering put over it and see what we can do to secure it down. Being where we are, we have winds all the time, so we gotta make sure that it's not just gonna end up in another field. So hope you have enjoyed working with us through this project so far, and hopefully here we can kind of at least finish up getting the building in the dry.
So we looked at the instructions again, and it looks like this cable that it came with is the next step. And it looks like this is supposed to connect from the front center to the back center, and it looks like it goes over the top. Again, these instructions weren't super clear, but as we were discussing it, he thinks that it's probably to help not have the cover sag in the middle, so it kind of keeps it taut on the top. So we'll see if that rings true.
Yeah. So the first step of getting the tarp put over the greenhouse is it came with a cable we're running from the front to the back, and I think this cable is just designed to keep the top of the greenhouse from sagging in, just kind of giving it some extra strength and centering the whole building together. So
yeah, so tying it kind of all together.
Yeah. And on one end there's just a carabiner that hooks in, and on this end I believe it's a buckle clip or buckle hook. I don't know. I'll find out. I'll show you a picture of it too. So
I think next what we're going to try to do is nail in some or drive in some T-posts to try to secure this just a little bit more to make it where it doesn't go anywhere before we actually put the cover on.
I got them hammered in as far as I could get them, and really as far as we needed them to be. So, but they're still a little tall, so I'm going to cut them down so they're not going to be interfering with our wrap over the greenhouse. Oh, something like that, maybe.
Probably.
catch that.
That end, yeah.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over the ground.
I'm gonna move that.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. Ground's wet.
Yep.
And then, as y'all seen me do before, I'm a huge fan of this plumber strapping. I'm just going to use it to attach the T-post to the lumber at the bottom of the greenhouse. So with the pieces that we cut off for the from the T-post that we drove in earlier, they're just long enough that I could probably make a little bit of a stake. So I'm going to just fill in a couple of other spots more in the center. That way I can make sure that we have no movement on this at all. So.
You might have seen us obviously cut these pieces, but we see us bending it over. So we're actually bending over the edge where we're going to be screwing it in. So it's got double the strength there. That's just something to make it last a little bit longer. So it looks like Brett got those other support T-posts drilled in or hammered in. And I think our next step is to try to attach the cover.
There's a decent breeze today. I think we've maybe caught it at a slow time, so we're going to try to do it. We may get taken off into the other field, but we're going to try it. So. Well, we got it strapped down inside. We'll show you around that later. Like I was saying a while ago, it's definitely doing its job. There's probably a solid 20 to 30 degree difference.
I would probably say
Yeah,
at least 20.
yeah, from outside to inside there. So I'll probably go try to find a thermometer here in a little bit and see if we can actually verify that. But it's definitely warm in there. It's definitely doing what it's supposed to be doing and keeping, just generating a lot of heat. So, all right. Next steps are it has like a little overlap that goes on the outside of the thing. Probably say you could put like pavers down or something to hold it to the ground. We're wanting to do some 1x2s, and I'm sorry, I think 1x4s probably.
Yeah, probably 1x4s.
But we're wanting to just kind of sandwich that overlap with the existing timbers that we have on the ground. We're hoping that'll kind of really keep this tarp secured. It's kind of what we do with our duck pen, which is a really similar concept to this. All right, so we didn't have any 1x4s lying around. We kind of thought we might, but it turned out we didn't. But what we did have was, after our last remodel in our living room, we've pulled all the trim pieces out. They're kind of a specialty cut piece, so they're not just a straight 1x4, but they will definitely do the job. We will still be able to sandwich the greenhouse covering between it and the boards on the bottom, and it'll do plenty good job. Plus, it's basically free lumber, since it's something that was just sitting there that we just stored in case we needed it for anything.
Which is not something that I used to do, but
we've gotten much better at that as we've gone through multiple remodels. So
yeah, and it's definitely came in handy with this extra, because we've used this even on our duck coop.
Yes.
So,
and with as expensive as lumber is, you can't really be picky anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to screw these boards in, sandwiching the material there, and hopefully it'll make everything super secure and we won't have to worry about anything ripping up on it. So all right, so we finished it up. We got it all sandwiched around. So we think we're at least done for the day. We're fixing to have to go do the evening chores, get all the animals up. They're starting to yell at us. So every time they see us, they think it's food time. So we're going to do a quick little tour, just kind of run you through, show you what we had to do, and we'll finish it up. So our microphones failed on us right here. So I'm doing a little voiceover work on it. Here we're going to enter the greenhouse, and I'm going to show you the stake that I use there. As you can see, I have some strapping around it to hold it to the wood, and I put one of those in all four corners. And then I also put some on the middle there. Those are the cutoffs from earlier. So here's the cable that we put across the top that keeps the top of the roof from sagging in. There's the turnbuckle that we showed you earlier as well to keep everything tensioned up. So here I'm going to show you the bungee cords that were used to hold it to the frame. That was what came with it. We were hoping with that outside sandwich of the boards to kind of alleviate those and make not so much strain for those, and that way hopefully we don't have to replace them as often. Yeah, on each end they had several Velcro straps that kind of help hold the end in place. Right here we realized Lacey forgot to do a few of them, so she's gonna have to get those real quick. So there are several windows along it to kind of help regulate the temperature in the
greenhouse. We only had a few of them open because we weren't planning on being in there super long. But trust me, it was hot. Looks like our temperature was right around 80 degrees at that time, but the sun had been starting to set, so it wasn't quite as hot right then as it was when we first entered the greenhouse. Here I'm showing the outside of the greenhouse where we actually sandwiched the boards in. I just screwed them up to that 4x4 that we attached the frame to and put several screws in. We do have the known gap right there, and that was for our hose entry. I'm just showing you all around it. We had two pigs fighting here. It was kind of weird. I don't know what was up with them, but those little piglets were fighting in between the fence there. They weren't having a good day. Right here, it was kind of hard to get some screws in that board just because of the proximity to the shed. Here's where it continues. We had the same gap here as we did on the other side. And then come around to the front. Up here in the front, we didn't sandwich in the middle, obviously, so there could be a doorway. So that part does not go with any support.
So we really appreciate you spending the day with us, getting this one kind of finished up. It's still pretty much far from finished. I've got a few other things I want to do. I've got a project of wanting to put an exhaust fan in there because it is getting so hot so fast. I want to be able to kind of regulate that temperature a little bit more. And I also kind of want it automated. I do have being a tech nerd, I always want to find a way to automate or put some kind of technology into it. So we'll probably have some videos based off of that as well, at least for monitoring the temperatures and maybe being able to open a window remotely if needed or something. So anything else?
I think the next time you see us, we may be starting some seedlings to maybe be able to start in the greenhouse. But that's for another day.
So thank you for spending the day with our Okie Dokie Life. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.